Well, Becky, thank you for joining us on the Guilt Free Marketing Summit.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here and to have a chat about marketing and sales, one of my favorite things to talk about, and helping businesses
Yes.
grow. It was great to talk to you the other day and see how we aligned in our vision. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think sales is one of the big ones for everybody. I know you have had, what, 40 years in sales and marketing in a very big capacity, winning awards, building businesses, all the things. So you really have that background for talking about sales. So talk to us about how you got into sales, because a lot of us shy away from that.
And the interesting thing about getting into sales, I got into sales when I was 19. I went to 1 year of college. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my career, but I was very shy. I was an introvert. And so, how many 19-year-old shy, introverted people think, let's get into sales, right? But as I was growing up, my stepfather was in sales, and I always admired him because we could go places wherever we went. People knew him, people liked him. They would come up and hug him, and he was just a really outgoing, friendly guy. So that was what my perception of what sales was, that people liked him, they were helping people. I didn't have that kind of negative connotation about sales. And I did not like being shy and introverted. And I liked people, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get into sales. That will force me to get out of my shyness, get out of being introverted. And so that was really my impetus to start a sales career and to force myself out of my shyness and to learn a skill that made me really, really uncomfortable. So that's how I got
Good for
started.
you for stepping into the uncomfort, because I mean that as an entrepreneur happens to us a lot. We have to step
Mm.
out in uncomfortable situations. But you went head first, and you went and got training with Dale Carnegie, John Maxwell, and Darren Hardy. So those are some pretty big names to be training with. How do you bring what you learned there to training people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I did get into sales, my first sales job was in staffing, and they were very patient. They really didn't teach me sales. I didn't know anything about sales, but I did okay. I knew that they gave me a list of people, and I knew I had to go out and talk to people. And I don't know, maybe people felt sorry for me. I don't know, but somehow I managed to do okay. My second sales job was a 1099 straight commission marketing, advertising and marketing job. And then my feet were to the fire and I knew how little I really knew about sales. When you're on straight commission, it's a whole another story. And selling advertising and marketing, is not, I mean, people don't have to have marketing. They don't have to have advertising. And when you're talking to small business owners, they were eating me up, and I was really struggling in sales. And so what fixed it for me was sales training. My mentor at the time, the owner of the company, he's like, Becky, you need some help, because I didn't know what a close was. I didn't know what a trial close, how to handle objections. I knew nothing. And I started pouring into well, at the time they were cassette tapes, but I was just pouring into, oh gosh, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, all the masters of sales at the time. And then the first real experience I had was with the Dale Carnegie Institute, and that was a game changer for me. It was an in-person, we went there every week, we role played. I got out of there. I walked in being okay in sales. I walked out of there and started earning cars and trips and awards and having success. And they asked me back as a graduate assistant. And that's where I really got my passion for training people in sales. And I thought, man, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to help people sell better because there's probably a lot of people out there like me. And so I had that dream of selling or of teaching sales training for many, many years. I did it in some of my corporate jobs, but I wanted to have my own program. And so all of that really laid the groundwork and the foundation for me of what my system was, what I used. 80,000 hours. I tested and I tweaked, I learned, I studied, I perfected my skill, and I really analyzed people. I analyzed the strategies that worked and didn't work, the psychology, because you can tell people's body language if they're, into what you're saying or if they're kind of pulling away. And so I was testing and tweaking, for over 80,000 hours of testing and tweaking this skill set that I was learning. And I just figured out over time what worked and what didn't. And so most of my training is really very strongly influenced by Dale Carnegie in particular and John Maxwell. So they were the ones that inspired me and motivated me and gave me the confidence to really step out on my own and do my own sales training course. So
That's so good. It's so good. Now, I know a lot of times we have a little pullback of asking for the sale. I've been in sales training. Everybody says, "Oh, you'd be so good at sales. You're so friendly." And I go, "Well, yeah, but you still have to have skills, to do sales training." And I even struggle with, asking for the sale. Like, what's your best advice for those of us who kind of hold back with, asking for the sale?
well, I have lots of quotes, and I I live by quotes and things that just remind me things. And one of my quotes is, "Questions are the answer." And in the sales process, what people always ask me, "How do I do this?" or "What's your answer to that?" Questions are the answer. And so one of
Mm.
the things that I primarily teach my clients, my sales training clients, is how to lead conversations, asking the right question at the right time to get the right answer. And if you get really good at doing that, you are going to lead people to a decision without ever really having to ask or having an uncomfortable
Mm.
question at the end, because you've been talking to them and asking questions and helping them make small bite-sized decisions through the whole sales conversation. By the time they're at the end, most people are like, "Okay, what's my next step? How do I get started? What do you need from me now?" And that's the beauty of selling the right way.
I love that. And I think that's all part of building the relationship as well, is when you are asking questions of other people, you're genuinely caring about their success and you want to know more questions so that you can make sure that you're helping them. And then when you're asking those questions and they're answering, they're almost selling themselves.
Exactly, 100%. And what I tell my clients is, you want to, as a salesperson, you want to get on their side of the table. Yes, we are in sales. Everyone is in sales, but we are
Yes.
a solution, decision making conversation. We have solution based decision making conversations every single day. And the
Yes.
only way that we can really do that well is if we get on their side of the table and help them diagnose what they need, what they want, where they want to go, what the solution is, and then help them see it from their angle. And
Mm.
questions lead us to those decisions. And because we don't want to convince anyone, I don't teach anyone how to convince people. You're not going to
Yes.
convince anyone to buy anything from you. And when I was new in sales, asking for the sale, because, oh, you got to ask 5 times, you ask and then shut up and just wait for them to answer. I always felt so uncomfortable with that. It felt really uncomfortable
Yes.
to me. And I remember most salespeople will talk and tell and share and talk and tell and explain and facts and benefits. And I used to do that too. And as I was getting close to the end of my presentation, I started thinking, oh my gosh, are they even interested? Are they buying what I'm selling?
Right.
What is my close going to be? What am I going to say to, see if they're interested? And there was just this, uncomfortableness by not communicating. But when you communicate throughout the whole conversation, asking those small decision making questions that might be yes, might be no, might give you some information, you're going to pull out any objections, you're going to pull out any concerns in the body of the presentation so you don't have them at the close.
Yes, I love that. And I want to say, sales is service, right? You are serving your client. So we have to think about
100%.
it that way. And then you also had said, basically, if you're an entrepreneur, you're in sales.
100%.
So
Yep.
so here we are. So we have people like you to help us to get better at asking the right questions. Like you said, I think there's a timing to that as well. So that's all your kind of your sales strategy that you teach, right?
That's 100%. I teach what I call my sales framework from cold to sold, and it's sprinkled in with asking questions, even in the prospecting phase, when you're prospecting and doing lead generation, you still have to get people to say, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm open.
Yes.
And what happens, a lot of people start selling before they get that, yes, I'm interested.
Right. Yes. Yep. Yes,
And then they
it's
go,
all in. You
interested?
got to have the order. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Well, you talk about building sales posture. What does that mean, and how can we use it?
yeah, sales posture to me is I want your business. I want to serve you. I want to support you, but I don't need you. I don't need this sale. And you
Right.
may have heard say commission breath or pushy salespeople. We do not. It is not a good look when you come across convincing, pushy, or have commission breath. We do not want to ever send out any red flags that we're desperate for the sale. If you come across
Yes.
desperate for the sale, then it feels like you're kind of convincing, pushing, and needy. No one wants to buy from a needy salesperson.
That's
So
right.
sales posture is hey, I am excited to learn about what you do. I'm excited to help serve you, support you, and bring you value. Let's see if it's a good fit. And even, saying, hey, this may or may not be a fit. Let's see if it is. And being just as good with a no as you are with a yes. And when you have that posture, people lean in, they open up to you more, and they're more willing to partner with you to figure out the best solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you and I talked earlier, and you had said something that I thought was kind of funny. You said everybody wants marketing magic, but
Hmm.
what's the reality of? I want to hear from you because you do have your background in also in marketing, sales and marketing. What's the
100%.
reality of when people are wanting marketing magic?
Yeah. Yeah. So I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners, and of course, everyone, especially right now, there's a lot of marketing out there. There's AI, there's automations, there's all this marketing stuff out there. And I think there is an improper expectation that we should be able to put a post out, put a video out, and it's going to blow up. We're going to have this viral, marketing magic that all we have to do is put a little marketing out there. Our clients will find us and they're immediately going to go to our website and they're going to sign right up. And unfortunately, that is an improper expectation. And oh my gosh, I wish it worked that way. If it worked that
Me
way,
too.
oh my gosh, my job would be so much
Right.
easier.
Yes, it would.
Uh-huh. So, what I always say is marketing generates leads. It warms people up to your message. It nurtures them. It builds your brand and authority, but conversations close sales. And if you
Yes.
can't sell without the marketing, you won't be able to sell with the marketing.
That's good. That's really good.
And so you can build a business without marketing. I mean, my first year of business, I averaged 2.5 new clients a week every week without a website, without really a lot of
Wow.
marketing. Because I mean, I did put some social media posts, I did put some content there, but I connected with people. I turned connections into conversations and conversations into clients.
Right.
But the salesperson, the person, sales and marketing really needs to go together because
Yes.
if you're not creating the system behind the marketing, you're not going to close any sales.
Yes, exactly. They really do go hand in hand. So you talk about unique selling advantage. How can we get our a unique selling advantage? What is that, and how can we get it?
So unique selling advantage. Of course, like I said, I've been in business, I've been in sales for 40 years. 40 years ago in sales, we did not have a lot of competition. And the
Right.
competition we did have was within the same geographic area that we lived in. So everyone bought from local vendors, local suppliers, because we had to drive, go meet them. We had to get on a phone. We had phone or had to drive to them. Those were our
Right.
options. We didn't have computers. We didn't have, Zooms and things like this. But now, oh my gosh, competition is fiercer than ever before. Buyers prospects have more options than ever before, and they're being inundated with marketing, with sales messaging, with options, all these options. It's a whirlwind of what should I buy? What's going to help me? What's going to solve my problem? And so I find that a confused mind does nothing. A confused client does nothing. They're not going to buy from anyone because they're confused. So we, as business builders, as entrepreneurs, we need to create a unique selling advantage. We need to be able to communicate that clearly and simply, because I find that a lot of times people make selling very complex, and they go into all this detail and this, jargon, industry jargon, and the buyer just doesn't care about that. So, unique selling advantage is knowing what sets you apart, making sure you can articulate it really, really well in such a way that it is a benefit and a value to them. And really communicate that well to
Like
set
it.
yourself apart, because we want to be the best solution. There's lots of options out there. There's lots of sales trainers out there. So there's lots of people that can do what I do or what you do. So why do they want to work with me, or why would they want to work with you? We got to know exactly
Right.
what sets us apart and what we provide that's going to give them added value. And that's what's going to create our unique selling advantage.
Well, I think that's really important because we've said many times on this summit already that it's not, uh, it's you. The competition means nothing. It's about you and what you have to offer. And so I don't believe that, I want to collaborate with people. I don't believe that it's all about competition and that's the enemy, or, anything like that. And because we're all unique. So I think that's
Exactly.
very important to be able to articulate that and know what that is. So
Right.
the
Yeah.
one, the one thing that I see a lot, and I tend to shy away because I want people to like me, is objections in sales. How do you handle objections without feeling defeated or defensive when that happens?
I have to say, I have learned to love objections, because objections are not stop signs, they're road signs.
Okay.
And if you learn how, and this really is one of the major keys to sales success, if you learn how to effectively eliminate objections, lower resistance, build buying desire, sales is easy breezy.
Yeah.
And I want to let people know that every time you're in any type of sales conversation, that person you're talking to is walking into that conversation with concerns, fears, doubts, disbelief, objections, things that could become a real stopping point, a real hard no objection. And so the whole sales process should be, and the way I set it up, is designed around lowering resistance and eliminating any potential objections that you might get. And we get the same ones over and over again,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Money,
Price.
price,
Price. It's always price.
time, time. Oh, I'm already
Yes.
using someone. I mean, there's the same ones that keep popping up over and over again. So, what I teach my clients how to do is answer the objections in advance, take them away, dissipate them, eliminate them. You don't want the objection at the close. If you get an objection at the close, that's the worst time to get an objection. But if you do it right, and you do my questions are the answer, lead with questions, you're going to pull it out in the conversation so that you can address it when it doesn't feel like it's a negotiating, like, oh, they're not going to buy unless I solve this one problem, because that's not the best time to answer an objection.
That is so
Does that
good.
make
I love
sense?
this. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, like you said, if you're doing the process correctly, you are already taking care of those objections. So, like you said, it makes it
exactly.
a lot easier when you get to the end.
A
So,
hundred percent, 100%. Yeah, and hey, concerns are, part of the process. We have to pull them
yes.
out. We have to communicate through them. And hey, if you know that you're one of the more expensive services, I mean, I've worked for companies that were way more expensive than my competitors, and there's a whole way to address that. Don't wait for them
Yeah.
to tell you that you're more expensive.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yep, we know. We know we're more expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say something like, hey, just for the record, we are going to be a little bit more expensive, and this is why. And I'm proud of the
Yes.
fact that we are because of that, we're able to do X and Y and Z and
Mm,
D to D. We don't want to lower price, we
yes.
want to up value. People, price is really, judged based on the value.
Yes.
They have price in one hand, value in the other. And what I teach my clients is how to stack the value hand so full that they can't wait to give you the money.
Yes. We love that. We love it when they can't
Yeah,
wait to give us the money. Sign the check. Let's go.
exactly. Of
Well, I
course.
would love to get some kind of, actionable step or a tip that they can use. I mean, you've already given so many great tips already, but maybe just like maybe I'm going to call it a silver bullet, if there ever is one in sales, a really hardcore tip that might help somebody walk out of here right now and say, I'm going to use that immediately.
Okay. Okay. Well, one thing I do teach on, I always say sales is mindset, skill set, and action. Got to have all three of those in place to really do well in sales and to grow a business. I mean, mindset is huge. You have to know the skill set
Yes.
and you have to take action. But one thing we haven't talked about that I do touch on a lot is numbers don't lie.
Mm,
And if you want to grow your business, track numbers grow. And so many
yes.
times, as business owners and entrepreneurs, especially business owners, if you're in sales and that's all you do, then they're probably going to make you track your numbers. But if you're a business owner, you have a whirlwind of things that you need to do. And maybe it's interviews, maybe it's training, you have all these things to do. So it's easy. And if you don't really enjoy the sales process, it's easy to procrastinate on it, put
Mm,
it aside, not do the income producing activities. So I highly recommend my clients to have three numbers that they track very ruthlessly. One is the number of new people they talk to, the new prospects, new conversations having, whether it's through social media, through networking. I teach a variety of different prospecting strategies, but how many new people are you putting into your pipeline? How many appointments are you booking, every single day? I try to book two a day, two a day, two a day. And how many appointments are you holding? How many selling
mm,
conversations are you holding per week? And
yes.
even if you're not great at sales, you're going to get better with practice.
Yes.
And if you're in the batter's box and swing the bat, you have a chance. So
Yes.
get in the batter's box, track your numbers, because a lot of times when I do talk to people and they're not closing sales, I'll ask how many appointments are you having a week? How many are you having a month? They're just not having enough at bats. They're not
Mm,
having enough action. And when you have action, you have the ability to test and tweak and practice and try new things. And at least, and even, there's a saying in sales, even a blind squirrel can get a nut every now and again. I
right.
was the
Yes.
blind squirrel early on. Trust me, I know. And that's okay to be the blind squirrel. You don't want to be it for 40 years, but it's
Right.
okay to
Yes.
start there. So
Yes. Yes.
that would
Oh,
be my
that
tip.
is great. Great advice. I absolutely agree. Now, okay. Now, you mentioned to me Super Saturday Summits, and you also have the Empowered Entrepreneurs Facebook group.
Right.
Tell us about that. Is that something we can get in on?
Okay. Absolutely. So my passion again is helping entrepreneurs. Of course, I could go work for sales organizations and help them, but I really feel the entrepreneur, they're my people. I feel like they're the people that need it. I want to see them win. I want to see them closing sales. So I have a community called Empowered Entrepreneurs Sell More. And inside that community, we do Super Saturday Summits. We do them on business growth. We do them on mindset money. We do them on wellness. So whatever industry you're in, whatever your expertise, if you would like to speak inside my group, there is no cost to do that. I've featured over 400, I think probably around 450 entrepreneurs in the last two
Wow.
years. So we showcase people all the time inside there. And we're just shy of 5,000 people in that group. It's a very engaged group. Yesterday I did 8 interviews inside that group. So we're
Nice.
doing interviews, we do networking twice a month, we do lots of things to connect and to practice on each other and to hold calls and to and to have a community kind of like a super BNI almost. And so yes, I would absolutely encourage any of your listeners to jump into my group, Empowered Entrepreneurs Sell More. Send me a DM and let me know that you heard me here and that you want to get on one of our Super Saturday Summits, and I will happily feature you on a Super Saturday Summit, get to know you and introduce you to people. I try to do 5 to 10 strategic introductions a day. So I'm always introducing and connecting people. I am a connector because I want to do whatever I can to support business owners and help them win.
What a wonderful thing that you're doing. Thank you for offering that. Now, you also have a free gift to offer everyone. Tell us about the free gift that everybody gets.
I do. I do. I have one of my favorite trainings is called Magic Words and Power Phrases. Words matter. And I have people for years as I'm training people, I'll say, "Hey, this is how I would say it. This is how I would, message it." And they'll go, "Oh, I said it that way." And I go, "Okay, let me hear how you said it." And they'll come back to me and I'll be like, "Just a couple of tweaks I would do." And you don't have to, and I don't call it scripting, but they're just keywords. I'll give you one that I just love. A lot of times when people are booking appointments, they'll say to someone, "Hey, would let's book an appointment. Would you be willing to meet with me?" Something like that. They're asking a yes no question. So instead of asking a yes no question, "Hey, it's been really great talking to you. Let's get a time on the calendar so we can sit down and really take a look and see how we might collaborate." So instead of asking that yes, no, I'm saying let's. Let's is my magic word.
Mm,
Let's do this. It's a directive word. And so if you can start saying, "Hey, hop on a quick call. Let's schedule a time. Hey, what's your schedule? Let's get it on the calendar for later this week." That just leads people to those small little decisions of, "Oh, yeah, how about Thursday?" And I think so many people, a lot of entrepreneurs wait for people to book them, wait for someone to go, "Hey, I want to book with you," when we have to lead them to that decision.
yes. Well,
So you will,
I like that word let's because it also feels collaborative.
yes, like we're doing it
Let's do
together.
it
Hey,
together.
let's get on a
Yeah.
call. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And so I have a training, magic words and power phrases, all those little secret wordings that I've used. And trust me, I've tested and tweaked. I mean, I've said things where people are like, and I'm like, okay, that did not
Okay,
work
cross
so
that one
well.
off.
Yeah, set one off. But there's a lot of little things that you can just sprinkle into your conversation that just moves the dial and gets them moving in the right direction.
I
That
love
would
it.
be,
What a great gift. Boy, you have really given us so much information and so many great things for everyone in the audience. Becky Davidson, thank you so much for taking the time.
oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to meet you, talk to you, and I'm looking forward to collaborating more with you. And for all of your
Yes.
listeners, let's get on a call. Let's meet. I'd love to meet you
Let's
and
do
learn
it.
about your business and see how I can promote and support you.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Well, Cheryl Fawn, thank you so much for joining me today on the Guilt Free Marketing Summit.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here. Honestly, this is
Uh,
such a privilege.
I'm excited for you to be here because we have to talk about a lot of things. You have something very interesting. Your background, you came from fast-paced world, TV, radio. You were building some pretty big strategies for big brands. And so how did all of that end up getting you to where you are now? And what were those lessons that now serve you?
I think one of the biggest lessons I learned from my radio and TV days is the importance of knowing, exactly who you're talking to. It's like every campaign I had a different audience, and it meant me shifting my approach, right? So I'll give you an example of like one of my campaigns that I worked with was with Hershey's in Publix grocery stores. It's a key retailing, Publix grocery store is a big grocery store here in South Florida. I don't know if they're all over the United States yet, but they're pretty big, right? So what I did was I used to secure end cap displays at the key grocery stores for brands like Hershey's in the Publix grocery stores so that they could sell their products. Because when you go into a grocery store and you have an end cap display, you'll see like bags of potato chips or something. And it wasn't on your grocery list to buy it, but it's called impulse sales, right? So we all go, oh, buy one, get one free. So we grab them. So I would secure those end cap displays for these big brands inside of Hershey, inside of Publix, because this is how they increase their sales. So when I was working with Hershey's, I had to put on my sales hat and focus on how to move product really quickly. But with Publix, it was about their marketing and telling like the bigger story and building trust with them, right? So that experience taught me how to adapt my message. When I was with Hershey's, I'm like, okay, we're going to do this program, and this is how I'm going to help you generate additional revenue by getting you that end cap display inside your key retailer. And that was selling it in to Hershey's, but then I had to sell it through to Publix. So then we get in front of Publix, and they're not interested in the sales part. They're interested in the marketing part. Mm-hmm. How are you going to brand us? How are you going to market us? So I would go in front of them and say, I'm going to have you in all these different commercials, and every commercial, we're going to say, at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, and use their branding, tools and things like that. What do you call that? I just lost my train of thought on that.
Their logo and their brand and all that.
Slogan that they use, and they loved it. So, and I gave them the promotion. It was their promotion. So I would have to change the hats that I was wearing, the sales hat, then the marketing hat, then the branding hat. So I think that's one of the biggest lessons I learned coming out of working with TV and radio, and I still use that in my business today.
Yeah, absolutely powerful. I mean, I love that you have that experience. What was the moment that you were here in corporate and you were like, you know what? I think I'm going to do something different.
It's funny you say that because I remember that moment. When you work in TV and you're at that caliber, it took me years to get to that part. I was working for Fox TV at the time, and I loved working with them. They were the best company to work with, right? They were paying me very well, but I was working 60 and 70 hours a week. And one day I just decided, let me do the math on this, and I'm talking 23 years ago. So I'm making I'm making six figures a year. But when you divide 70 hours a week into six figures, minus your taxes and all the stuff, I was only making $28 an hour. Now I know some people say, well, that's pretty good money. Well, it really wasn't to me, because that was a lot of hours I was putting in. But even more importantly, I remember I was asking for vacation time. You only get 2 weeks vacation when you work for corporate, right? And everybody wants the same 2 weeks, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And you had to put in for that vacation. And I'm like, no, I don't want to have to ask permission to go visit my family. And if someone had already put in for that vacation before me, they wouldn't give me that vacation time. So I would lose that. So that made me think, like, do I really want to work for corporate? As much as I loved working with the company, working 70 hours a week and having to ask permission to go on a vacation, I just decided, you know what? I'm done. I want to start my own business, and I don't want to have to ask permission for, vacation time. So that was my aha moment, and when I decided to leave corporate.
I love that. That's such a good story. I think a lot of people probably feel that. A lot of us have worked in corporate, and you really do feel like a little bit of a slave to it, where you're like, oh my gosh, like what life, there's more to life than this,
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, you started doing decorative painting. At what point did you kind of say, you know what, I think that this is more than just a hobby?
Well, you know what? I think the way it happened was I just decided that one day I was just going to quit my job and I was going to start my own business. I was going to, create my own hours and just build my own dreams. I wouldn't suggest that to anyone, actually. I literally quit my job without a B plan, A plan, nothing plan. I just said, I'm done, and I quit. I had no B plan. So I had to go hustle it. I had to make sure that this was going to work. So I just I read a lot of books and, watched other, people on social media, and I just tried new things. And I just stayed consistent in what I was doing, and I just didn't give up. And then within the first year, I actually replaced my income. So it was just one of those things I just said, I need to start my own business, and I'm just going to go figure this out. And the funny part was, I'll tell you the behind the scenes, I don't tell a lot of people this, but when I quit that job, I had no B plan. And I wanted to do decorative painting. And I didn't even know what glazing was. I didn't know how to do full finishing decorative painting. I just knew I loved it. I knew how to paint. I just didn't know that part of it. So I had to take a class to teach me how to do that. And I remember I borrowed $800 from a friend of mine to go take that class. And I took the class. I learned how to do 10 different little full finished decorative painting things. And I just took those 10 samples and I just started going out there just saying, hey, can I paint your house? Can I do this? And that's actually how I got started in my full finishing business. But in a year later, I actually replaced my income.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so inspirational. Yeah. And I think that's also a little bit of a step in faith, where, like you said, you had to borrow the money to get the coaching and the information and the instruction that you needed to move to the next level. And I think a lot of people are in that spot where you're like, man, there's all these, amazing coaching programs and people who have resources, but it is a step in faith when you really believe that you can do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to find somebody that's gone before you and pay them to show you so you can skip the learning curve. And just get right to the good stuff, right? And that's basically what I did. So
that is so good. Now, then, so you have this great decorative painting business, and then you kind of realize, well, I think that I can teach other women how to be successful in the things that they love. Yeah. So, tell me about that process and how you got to that point.
I decided to start a monthly coaching group, basically to help it was really just for creatives and other artists to actually build their business. And it was really because people just kept asking me, other artists would come to me and say, how are you doing that? How did you get all those followers on social media? And, how are you finding this business? Because they were calling me actually to hire them to work with me because they didn't have any work coming in. They're like, how are you getting all this work? And how is that happening? So I decided, instead of teaching them one little thing here and there, I would just start a coaching group, monthly coaching group, and come in there and show them exactly what I'm doing. And I actually had just last week, another artist in town say to me, why are you teaching other people in your trade how to do the thing you're doing? Why would you do that? You're teaching them all your secrets. I said, because listen, there's enough business out there for everybody. Honestly, I live in Palm Beach County. You know how big Palm Beach County is? There is no way on this side of heaven that I'm going to be able to service everybody that lives in this town that calls me and says, hey, can you do this? I get to the point where I can't do all the work, and I actually sub my work out. I've gotten to where I hire other artists to go in and do the work for me. So I don't have to be in all this. It's like doing the time for dollars thing. You know how people say you're selling your time for dollars? I can't be in 10 houses at the same time.
That's right.
And my crew can't be that big either. I mean, you have to start managing those crews. So I just if I can just teach them how to do the thing that I'm doing, get on social media, promote yourself, market yourself, do these things, and then you're going to start getting that business too. And that's where I started empowering women, teaching other creatives. But now it's turned into not just creatives in there, it's just anybody in business, because what I'm doing, it can be for anybody. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be a creative or a painter. It's in any business that you have that you can do exactly what I'm doing. So that's how I kind of get started.
I love that you said, there's enough business for everyone. And I subscribe to that same thought as well. In a former lifetime, I was in real estate, and it was like, real estate agents were a dime a dozen everywhere. And it was like, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because somebody's going to work with me.
Exactly.
And what I have to offer is going to be different than someone else. And so, and I do know in all of our businesses, there is plenty to go around. God is a God of abundance. He's going to make it happen for you. So you don't have to stress about anybody else.
You have customers that keep coming back to you. I have customers that have done their house 10 years ago who are still calling me to do their house. Sometimes they move into a new home. They want their new home done. I have a lot of snowbirds that live here that come here seasonal, and they'll fly me to wherever they live, sometimes in New York and Georgia, wherever, and do their home up there. So it's just building those relationships and keeping that business going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that there are probably a lot of ladies in our audience who have a passion or an idea or, something, and they're kind of, maybe their wheels are turning and they want to take a good first step. What's a good first step that you would recommend?
My recommendation is stop giving it away. Stop giving away your products and your services, because a lot of people are like, oh, it only took me an hour to make it, or I just do it for fun, or it really isn't that big of a deal, so they just keep giving away their products and services. And if you keep giving it away, people aren't going to hire you or buy your products, right? Get on Facebook, get on Instagram, share your products and your services, and let people know that you are a business and you're no longer a hobby. Because if you treat your hobby like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. And if you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. And that's the best advice I can give you. Just get out there and let people know that you're just taking that fun thing that you love to do and you're turning that into a business, and you're going to watch it grow.
That is stellar advice. Absolutely stellar. I hope everybody wrote that down. And if you missed it, you can get VIP and you can get the replay. So just in case, you can still get the VIP. Well, you've talked about creating multiple streams of income for the people that you work with and for yourself. So give us an example of what that might look like when you're talking about multiple streams of income for one business.
I love this question. This is one of my favorite questions. So let me start out by telling you how it all actually got started. So you kind of have like a little bit of a background. I'll give you like a quick synopsis of how this all came about, basically. So back in 2008, during the recession, and I'm sure if you were a realtor back then, you understand, you remember the recession, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, back during that time, I lost my business. I lost my home to a short sale, and I also went bankrupt. And this is all because I was relying on one income source. I only had one way to make money. Somebody calls me, they want me to paint their home, do something pretty in there, and then I would get that job, and it was selling time for dollars. I'd do that job, then I go find another job, and another job, and another job. That's the only way I was making money back then. So if nobody called me, I had no money coming in. So during the recession, people were not, they were short selling their homes, they were foreclosing their homes, or they were just barely hanging on to their homes. They weren't calling me to make their house look pretty. They were saving their money, right? So I literally lost it all. I had to put everything I owned in a storage unit, go move in with a friend. And during that time, I had to go look for another job. I literally got another job for 6 months, and it was working for a phone directory, believe it or not. And then the internet came along, and they're like, oh, guess we're not going to have remember the phone directory?
Yes.
So that went away, and then my job went away. And then I realized, I just prayed out to God. I'm like, Lord, what is it I can do? I want to keep my business going. I loved what I was doing. I don't want to start another business. How can I take this business and make money with it, even during these times? So I decided to put on my big girl panties, pull up those bootstraps, and get back to work. I said, I'm not going to let this deter me. I'm going to take this business and I'm going to keep going with it, even though everyone else was closing down. And I remember somebody hired me to do the garage door. And I was wood graining this garage door. So the client's paying me to do this, right? So I thought, wait a minute. What if I videotape myself doing this garage door, and I could teach other people exactly what I'm doing step by step, and I could sell the video. So I got a $20 tripod, put it in front of the garage door, put my phone on it, and I just started talking and painting and whatever, and people are walking by with their dogs and walking their dogs and watching me. You know, the garbage truck came by making all kinds of noise. They had to stop and start all over. Then the next day, the lawn guys show up with weed whacking and making all kinds of noise. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm maybe going to get through this thing. So then I finally get it all done. But you can still hear the birds in the background chirping through the whole video. Had no idea till after I was done with the video. How do you make a bird stop chirping? You can't. So they're still in the video. I did this video like 8 years ago. I today am still selling that same exact video. So it's like you do it once and you sell it over and over and over. I've made thousands of dollars off that one video.
Wow.
Well, so this was another stream of income. So here's the clients paying me, right, to do the garage door. I'm selling the videos on how to do the garage door. Then I decided to start blogging and taking parts of that video and created a blog with it. And then I added affiliate income links to the blog. I am still selling I'm still making money from the affiliate links from that blog that I wrote years ago. So that one thing just created 3 revenue streams for me, 3 of them. And then another example is just recently, I started painting these chairs because I just love painting. It's like therapeutic for me. So I'm painting the chairs, right? So I'm painting this pretty chair, and I'm going to sell this chair for $650. Then I decided, well, let me write a little blog on how I'm doing the stripes on the chair. Not the whole chair, just the stripes. And I created a blog, and I said, here's the step-by-step. These are the products you need. Here are the affiliate links to go buy it. So that's a second revenue stream. Then I created a video. As I was painting, I'm doing the whole video. I made a video out of it, and I'm selling the video for $67. So let's just say, I don't know, I sell 20 videos. That's only 20. That's $1,300 worth of revenue just from the video, right? Well, now the other thing I started doing was I'm going to put together an in-person workshop teaching people how to paint the chair in person. But I'm only going to have 8 people in this workshop. That alone is going to generate $3,000. So that one chair that most artists would say, I paint the chair, I sell the chair. I paint another chair, I sell that chair. Well, I paint the chair, I sell the chair, I write a blog, I do a video, and I do in-person classes. All said and done, minimum, I'm going to make probably $5,000 off that one chair.
Wow.
So it's just, you're creating multiple streams of income from that one thing that you are already doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter any business that you're in. And actually it's biblical if you didn't know this. In Ecclesiastes 11:2, it actually says, have 7, no 8 streams of income, for you do not know what misfortunes may occur on earth. And it's so true.
Yes.
It's so true. That's why people invest, right? So invest in yourself, invest in your business, and learn how to take that one thing and generate multiple streams of income from doing the same thing you're already doing, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel and you don't have to start from scratch. And you can do all of these things. And I've got 10 different ways that you can literally take that one thing and add multiple streams of income to it.
Wow.
So
that is so good. And thank you for the Bible reference. I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, God is a God of multiplication. Absolutely. So it's like, just multiply, 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 and just keep going. So with that, with that, that we talk about, in this summit, marketing God's way. What does that look like in your business? I mean, we've kind of touched on that a little bit, but what does that mean for you?
In order to, for me, marketing God's way is doing business, meaning your faith, show up with, in your, with generosity, ethics, you know what I mean? Just be faithful in what you do, and, and it's how you treat other people. So also to find ways that you can take your skills to benefit other people, because it's not always about you making money in your business. It's about how God has given you a gift and how you can share that gift with other people alongside of making money with it too. I was just telling actually my hairdresser the other day, she's like, I don't know how I would do that. I said, well, you're a hairdresser. What about offering back to school haircuts for children who can't afford them? You're doing this just before the school year. It's not like you're doing it every week, or you could do it every week if you want. Even realtors, for that matter. You used to be a realtor. What about working with a local nonprofit to help families understand affordable housing programs? An
Yes.
artist, you can, donate your time in a children's center, or a financial advisor could do like free tax services for, single moms and,
Right.
and veterans and things like that. There are so many ways that you can give back. If you're like I have someone that's actually in the health industry. A couple of people I work with, and I have friends in the health industry. Hosting a free maybe cooking demo at a community center, teaching like affordable, healthy recipes and things like that.
Mm.
Doesn't matter what it is. Pray, ask God. I did the same thing. I asked God, what is it you want me to do? What is my purpose here on earth? It can't be just go to work, come home, you know what I mean? There's got to
Yes.
be something else here. And just pray and ask God, what that
Mm.
is for you. So,
Yeah. I love that. Well, and while we're talking about that, you also have a nonprofit. So tell us about the nonprofit. I think this is very, very interesting.
yeah, so I started a nonprofit organization back in 2016. And I actually had to stop it during 2020 because of COVID, because I work with children with special needs, and these children have underlying conditions. So we really can't go into homes, during COVID and all that. So my nonprofit is, what I do is I gather up local artists and individuals and painters, or just people in general. You don't have to be an artist, in my community. And we go into the homes of children with special needs, and we give them a complete room makeover. It's almost like remember that show, what was it called?
Yeah, it was the home makeover show or whatever.
Home
Yeah.
makeover. And if you want to
Yes.
see your room, well, we did the same thing. And we have murals on the wall. We sometimes even give them new furniture. We put up drapes in the room. We just do the complete room makeover, because these children are born with, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, all these different, autistic children. And a lot of these children, they need constant supervision. They don't get to go out and play with other kids. Some of them are actually, wheelchair bound, or bed bound. They don't even get to. Someone has to actually go pick them up to move them to another room, so they don't get to go out and play. These kids aren't invited to birthday parties. They don't even have friends, a lot of them. So we go into their homes and we just make their bedroom, their space special for them, and we give them a complete room makeover. It's so amazing. So
I just love that. That is so inspiring. I
yeah,
like almost I can almost envision it because I have watched that show, and it's like
yeah,
I what a blessing that is. So thank you for doing that.
yeah. I
I
love
mean,
it. Listen, I always tell people, if I didn't work and I could just do one thing all day long, I would do my nonprofit full time. That is my ultimate
mm,
goal, is to do my nonprofit
yeah.
full time. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people who would say the same thing
yeah,
because you have a heart for that, and that's what feels the best, and you're doing good.
yeah. Just
So
pray and ask God if there's something. He kept tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, Sean, go serve these people." And I knew he wanted me to do something with it. I just didn't know what.
mm,
So, he just showed me the way and said, "This is what I want you to do." And not only that, I also serve on a special needs ministry every other Saturday called Hand of Hope. It's a Joyce Meyer ministry that we sponsor at our church, and I work with special needs kids there. We teach them Bible stories, and we do serve verse. We teach them how to serve other people. They do horseback riding while they're there. We teach them crafts. It's a lot of fun. So I spend every other weekend with these special needs children in a different ministry, not mine. So
yeah. Oh, I love that. I just love that. Well, speaking of being young, if you could go back and give your younger self one great piece of advice, what would that be?
yeah, I would say don't put all your eggs in one basket. When I first got started, I thought success meant like pouring everything into one income stream and one strategy and one perfect plan, right?
Mm,
But in the 2008 recession, it taught me a hard lesson, and stop relying on one income source. So I would tell my younger self, build multiple streams of income early on, even if they're just small at first. Learn how to market in ways that will build trust and connection, and not just a quick sale. Learn
yeah.
how to generate these revenue streams. In this way, over time, you're going to have money coming in. I still have money coming in from affiliate links that I posted 7, 8 years ago on my blogs. I still have all of my videos I sell that come in. People are constantly buying those. I just had someone buy my garage door one 2 weeks ago, and I didn't even promote it anywhere. So how they found me, I just
Wow.
guess they went to my website. But this is all keeps generating. Not to mention the courses that I teach, and then the empowering women's group, the monthly membership. There's so many different ways that you could be making money with your business, and I'll give you like a real quick, like, here are the 10: affiliate sales, residual income, ad revenue, put ads up on your website, a paid membership. This is, reoccurring income. It can grow and grow and grow, right? Teach people the thing that you know. Create video sales. This is another residual income. You could write an ebook and sell it on Amazon, sell it on your website, use it as a lead magnet. Courses, write a course, residual income. You make one course and you sell it over and over and over. You could do one-on-one coaching, teaching people the thing that you know best, right? Selling your physical products. Sponsored content is another one. That's a great way to make some extra money. And also virtual sales. You have all kinds of things that are free at your fingertips, like Facebook and Instagram. You can have a virtual store on these platforms and Amazon for free. You don't even have to pay for them. So go sell your stuff on those platforms as well. So multiple streams of income, I would say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Something I wished I learned a long, long time ago.
Yes,
great. So much easier, so much easier.
Right?
Yeah, right.
That is such good advice. And I know that you do have a free gift for everyone. Can you tell us about what you got?
Well, yeah, so my Empowering Women's group is all about helping you grow and monitor your business without the overwhelm, right? So I share step-by-step video strategies on a variety of topics like marketing ideas, social media, affiliate income, branding and emailing, all the things that you need to do in your business to grow. And I do a step-by-step video teaching you inside the group. I share free tools, so that'll save you money. I give you cheat sheets so that you don't have to go hunting and pecking all over the internet trying to figure it out on your own. And it's a great place to surround yourself with like-minded women, just like yourself, and make new friends. And I answer all of your questions right inside of there. So I want to offer everybody a free month inside my Empowering Women's group. I think you have a link for that. Just click on it,
Yes, I do.
Join, and if you decide it's not for you, that's okay. I understand. You can just, opt right out. There's no contract or, no staying in there. You can just come and go as you please. I would love to see you in there. There's so many things I could be showing you how to do that'll save you so much time, and all 10 ways on how you can generate additional revenue in your business without having to, start from scratch. So.
Wow, that is a very valuable gift. Thank you for offering that up. Cheryl Fawn, thank you so much for taking the time, sharing your stories and your great wisdom with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and can't wait to see you all inside the group.
Allie Spitzbergen, thank you so much for being here at the Guilt-Free Marketing Summit.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me, you guys. What an honor to be a part of this incredible event. And Sue, thank you for putting this together with such incredible people. These sessions are just over the top. Like, how'd you get us all together, girl? How'd you do it, Sue?
I did it. It's all God. It's all blessings on blessings. That's all it is.
It surely is. It really, really is, girl.
Well, we have a lot to talk about because you have quite an incredible story to share about bringing faith into your business and what happened to you. So I'm just going to let you go ahead and tell that story because it's powerful.
Yes. Okay. We go deep quick around here. So everyone, I am so excited to just drop you right in to 2011. Pregnant with my first daughter, had already miscarried 2 babies. She was a twin, lost her twin. And here I am, 29 weeks pregnant in the ER as an ICU nurse myself. And the doctors say, there is nothing else we can do for you. I was so sick with this thing called HELP syndrome, the worst form of preeclampsia. My daughter at 29 weeks had flatlined in the monitor multiple times. And I had a couple medical degrees. I already knew, Sue, I was dying for 3 days. The joke is the nurses only come in when we're dying. And I literally said, Lord, unto you, I commend my spirit. Like I just knew, like I was totally, all my major organs had already shut down. And when you're dying, there's not a lot of fight in you. And my sweet husband, who has 0 medical degrees, who was raised in the things of God and in a powerful spirit-filled Holy Ghost church, puts his arm on me and he says, you're going to be fine. I'm like, wait, what? What did you say? That tiny mustard seed of faith, though, was everything I needed to grab a hold of. And I was like, if he thinks I'm going to live, and if that baby girl's going to live, she's going to have a mom. So I'm going to fight. And that changed everything. And I told the Lord, if you save my life, I'm going to do something big for you. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows it was you, not man, because they already wrote me off at this point, right? They said we did everything we can do. I could only get a miracle. And you guys, that's where God does his best work. His best work is when everything else is like an absolute no. And he's like, oh, that's cool because I make the impossible possible. Oh, that's great because all you need is me, not man. Hey, guess what? I can hook up with that mustard seed of faith and watch what I will do. And that day he spared my life and he spared my precious girl, Anna Destiny. And she's now 14 years old. And from that moment, Sue, I still went back to nursing. My daughter ended up at our hospital where I worked in our NICU for 105 days. And I went back to nursing, and then I just knew that the door was going to be closed. She needed now a stay-at-home nurse, and that was going to be me, her mom. And I decided to start my first business to help other moms be able to stay home with their babies and truly learn what it was to make God my CEO. Make that promise that I made to him. Hey, God, if you give me a second chance at life, I'm going to do something big and help so many people for his glory.
Oh, it's so good. And so for his glory, CEO, that's the name of your business. And so that's kind of where it all started.
Okay,
And
so funny enough, it didn't. It started with a direct selling company.
Oh, okay.
Mama Bear didn't know what I was doing. I had 0 MBA, business experience, anything. I was like, oh, wait, we make money online now? That's what people do? Okay, this is cool. I got to be home. She's on oxygen and monitor. She was born with congenital heart disease. So we had to do open heart surgery, all the stuff. We had 5 specialty docs, 5 therapists. I was not about to go out and build something, but all of us have the capability of building something online in the nooks and crannies of our lives. And so I actually jumped into a direct selling space where I learned everything. Out of that, the Lord birthed for his glory, but everything in my life, Colossians 3:23, whatever we drink, whatever we eat, whatever we do it unto the glory of God. And so that's what I knew. Whatever he was going to allow me to steward would be for his glory. But the coolest thing is, I built a multiple 7-figure business over there in that direct selling business, hit the tippity top, stayed there, all the things. And it totally got taken away last July on one 21-minute Zoom. Sue, we got on the Zoom. We thought we were launching a new product. All is great. We learned that we were no longer going to be needed. My team of over 4,000 was being dismantled, all the things. But the Lord had birthed and given me this just amazing insight on For His Glory CEO April before I lost the 7-figure business in July. And so now, yes and amen, it is called For His Glory CEO because Mama Bear owns it. But yes, everything has always been about For His Glory. But yes, I'm the founder of For His Glory CEO Coaching, and I help high elite people, businesswomen specifically, scale with greater profit and peace and do it based on biblical principles to be a greater influence in their industry, to be the experts in everything we do. I have a heart for the missions. That's how I got started into nursing. It was all about being a missionary. And so it's just so cool, Sue, how the Lord will just bring all these together, all the things that he's put in our hearts to steward for his glory.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And I just love your energy and your excitement about it. You can tell your passion, and you're passionate about your business, and you're passionate for the Lord, which is just the most important thing. And so, you're teaching these folks to kind of bring some order, that's peace and profit. So some of the ladies on our call might feel a little out of alignment with that. What's a good practical first step to get her like kind of back on the right track?
Oh, I love this question. And for all of you guys, been there, done that for sure. I've been out of alignment. I've not had the peace. I've had chaos. This whole framework, which I put something together for all you all that I haven't done yet. It's an exclusive thing for this amazing summit. I actually am giving you my framework for free and a beautiful little PDF. So the whole framework, and where do we start first? So for His Glory, CEO stands for faith, high performing habits, growth, community, excellence, obedience. So let's start with F. Where do we start? Sister girl, if you do not have that peace, our peace is like our compass. It's like our true north, right? And if we're not in alignment, just like you guys, I wasn't when I went back to nursing, right? The grace lifts. In the Bible, it talks about the grace being lifted. And sometimes the grace lifts and we stay, Sue. We're like, but this is all I know. I have 3 medical degrees. I'm still paying it off. Like I'm doing this. Like what? No, like what am I going to do over here? Business? I don't even know the first thing. I'm not a salesperson, right? Like I'm not doing that. But sometimes you just have to go where God's calling you to go, and He'll give you the grace to do it. But you have to have faith. So that's the first thing. If the grace has lifted and you don't have that perfect peace, say, Father, I repent. I always am quick to say, Father, I repent. If I missed you, if I haven't been obedient, Father, I repent. Lord, lead me and guide me. It says that He leads us and guides us with His own eye, right? So whether it's the left or the right, you will guide me. So I was just saying, Father, thank you. I repent. If I missed you, if I'm doing this in my own flesh or out of a fear or whatever it might be, people pleasing, but I really repent. And Father, I want you to guide me. So our faith has to be the firm foundation. We have to have faith, right? Just like my husband did when he put his hand on me, he had that faith just to say, babe, you're fine. You're going to be good. We got to have that firm foundation. So just ask of the Lord. And if you don't hear from the Lord, I always tell my clients, open your Bible, read it out loud. You're going to hear Him, right? You're going to hear His voice. You're going to know what to do. And then you got to do it. We can't be hearers only. We got to be doers.
Yes. Oh, so good. Well, I'm excited to get your framework. What a great gift for everybody.
Yes.
And so along those lines of, I know you are working with, some very high powered, incredibly successful women. And as women, we are always doing all the things. I mean, we've got the family, we've got the business, we've got the ministry, we've got, soccer, all the, the carpool. We got all the things. How do you manage all that? Do you have any good secrets, that help you out and help your clients to be able to literally do it all? 'Cause we're expected to do it all.
Oh my gosh, you're teeing me up so good, girl. We'll jump right into the H.
Well, okay, I didn't even know.
You didn't know. Thank you, Jesus. Right into the H, the high performing habits. It's so key in business. We have to have high performing habits. What do I mean by that? We have to have a morning routine. I do wear many hats. I wore this hat for you tonight, my little country girl. So I'm a mommy of 4. I run not only one, I actually run 2 businesses from home. I have 2 different podcasts, For His Glory CEO, which is my business coaching, a Marriage Made in Heaven podcast with my smoking hot husband of 16 years. We're marriage pastors, and we love the missions. And so we truly have very full plates. However, I've learned this. If you can lock in your habits, if you can be extremely consistent daily, God will allow you, He'll expand your time and He'll give you supernatural capacity. So when we talk about habits, we have to have a morning routine. Every successful person, and yes, I have the most extraordinary clients that are crushing it in life, but most importantly, they love the things of God and they love doing what He's called them to do. And that's their blessing of the Lord. It says the blessing of the Lord makes one rich. He adds no sorrow to it. It's God that gives the increase, not man. And so I think if people can have a good morning routine, what do I mean like that? Get out of bed and get into the Word of God. Get your face in the Word and get in prayer. That is like the number one ninja skill I can give you. That's going to set you apart from everyone else because it grounds you for everything that might come at you. And it makes you solely focused on what's first. The first things first. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, huge, and all of these things shall be added unto you. Don't go to your phone. Don't get all like in the chaotic world, all that kind of stuff. That is a choice that you pick up your phone every morning. It's also a choice to pick up your Bible every morning. So high performing habits really starts your day. How do you start your day? Then we hit the gym. My husband and I break a sweat every single day. Do I like getting up at 4 a.m., Sue? No. Answer is a hot no. No. But if I want to be on fire in the fire, get in the word, and then be ready for my children when they get up at 6, I have to nail that. So we go out and we work out. I get the kids ready, and my kids are in school. I used to homeschool. Now they're in school with dad. He's a teacher. Love that. And then I get on my work. I don't dilly-dally. I don't dead man scroll. I do the first thing first, which is revenue in first position always. Always. Right? Like businesses are simple. Owners complicate. Let me tell you something. If you're not having revenue in first position, if you're not bringing money into your business, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. So make your high performing habits. And I learned this just yesterday at this conference. I want to share with you. This girlie shared, the magic is behind the things you don't want to do. The magic is good. And what don't people want to do? They don't want to dial for dollars. They don't want to reach out, and they don't want to sell their programs, their offers, their workbooks, their services. I'm like, girlfriends, we're sales girls for his glory. Like I'm so passionate. Clearly, I love what I do. Clearly, this isn't something that happened overnight, by the way. This is 20 years in the making. The first time I got a Bible. So I'm so passionate about what I do, but literally if we're not thinking about others every single day when we wake up and how our yes will unlock what God's like calling them to do, then we're just going to be stuck. We're going to be burnt out. We're going to have chaos, all the things. So you really got to lock in those habits, and you've got to be ridiculously consistent with them.
Ooh, man, girl, you're like on fire right now. Like this is like just so good. And I know I've heard, and I've said this in the past, they say what you have to offer, when you're not calling and offering it to people, you're doing a disservice to the world. Like you have something so good to bring to the world. Pick up the phone and start calling. And, so with that in a sales position, because when we are in business, we are in sales. So you're going to hear a lot of no's. Talk to us about the no's.
Girl, we're going right into growth. So faith, habits, growth. The no's are all about growth, right? Like you have to get 100 no's to get a yes. You're growing. You're growing. Every no is a grow, right? You show up, you grow up, right? We want growth. I tell my girlies, learn something new every single day. Put yourself in rooms where you are the stupidest person in there. Be a part of things that are like so mind blowing. You're like, oh my gosh, if they know who I really am, I'll get kicked out, right? Like just allow yourself those kind of crazy growth. I call it big, hairy goals, the BHAGs, right? I mean, I'm a dreamer. And you know what? It was so cool. There's a lot of dreaming in the Bible, and look what those dreamers did. Yes and amen. Yes. If you would just believe. I have a Post-it note right here. Speaking of that, I said, you are the answer to someone today.
Yes.
You are an answer to someone today. They're waiting for you. You are their answer today. So when we get our no's, I always just say, great, I'm so much closer to a yes. And I got answers to the test. So I like to say, if they're like, no, thank you so much. Your inner circle is not, a fit for me. I say, thank you so much. Can I ask you what would have made it a yes? Yeah. What would have made it a yes? Oh, if da-da-da. Perfect. Thank you so much. All you guys are getting with no's are amazing. Objections are amazing. I'm getting everything I need because you know what? It's not what you say. It's what they say. And it's not what you want to bring to the world. It's what they need from you. All of these conversations for me are pure gold. So I absolutely love sales calls, and they're souls at the end of the day, Sue. These are people I get to steward for the things of God. They might be like, for instance, today, my dad going into surgery. And I'm like, hey, Sue, before we get on this interview, we need to pray at my pops, right? You don't know that their dad might be going into surgery. You don't know that they might be, getting a horrible diagnosis. You don't know that their kid just had something, right? Unless you pick up the phone and call people. So I always love to tell people growth is not about you. It's always about them. You'll grow in the process, but you're not going to ever grow in your business if you're not connecting with people.
Yes, it is all about connection. That's ultimately what it is. And so this summit, guilt-free marketing. We want guilt-free. And I think there's a little bit of, guilt about, charging money for your programs and what pricing, and I don't know if I feel how I feel about that. I feel guilty. Can you speak to that? Because I know you work with a lot of women who are building programs, and you're kind of like, I don't know what to charge for my program.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I actually just got off the phone with my cousin who has this flower farm. It's like Lucky Fields Living. She's building this whole thing out, her and her amazing husband. And she was sharing just that. She's like, I'm a giver, Al. I'm a giver. She's a nurse by trade. And I was like, this is amazing. Yes, given it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken over. Like that is such a biblical principle. However, we're doing everyone a disservice if we're just giving away everything. It gives them zero value. And so when I started my first business, I just gave it away. I was just like, oh my goodness, I came off the mission field too. So I'm like, yeah, it's free. Like, just take it. And my dad goes, oh, so you made it have no value. So you don't expect them to ever use those products, right? Because you literally just gave it away for free. There's no value to them.
Mm.
Not only was it free, it actually cost me something. I paid tax on it. I paid for it. So now I'm in the hole and I'm not able to do what I want to do, which is help orphans live sustainably off their own land. So I'm doing no one a service by offering it something free. I was actually at a networking event and the guy goes, if you don't have to pay for this, you're not going to pay attention. That's why y'all paid. You pay to pay attention. But the truth is, when I have sown great seed into different business coaches that I've hired and big investments I had, I show up with excellence. I get everything I needed from that because I had skin in the game. And I think that is so, so, so important to always have skin in the game and to never, like, we should always, this is a huge thing, that I feel passionate about because I am in ministry, but like, we should want to give the highest price to godly people in business. We should want to support their businesses more than we support anything else. Yet, there's this thing where it's like, oh no, it's cool, like friend to friend, like da-da-da. I'm like, a friend discount? No, you should pay that friend double because you're so proud of her for going after her dreams. Like, do not ask for a friend discount. Do not ask for anything. Like, how hard it is to build a business. There's a really big overhead for people, especially today with all the different tech and all the different things we can do and we want to buy it all. But no, you have to have skin in the game, but you have to allow people. So what I told my cousin, I said, if people aren't going to pay you, you're not going to have Lucky Farms, right? What a disservice to them that you weren't able to like live this out, what you love doing. And that costs money. They're paying the business. They're not paying you, right? They're paying to the business. And when they pay the business thrives. The business is able to give so much more to them because now it has the capability to do it. And I always want to double down on everything I do. I do 2 in-person retreats for my inner circle girlies, my 12 disciples, I call them. And after the first one, it was oceanfront, La Jolla, San Diego. Like, I'm like, how am I going to overdo this? Like, this place is amazing, right? Only Jesus. We get this Jesus home, this private residence. They're like, what? This place is amazing. We just double booked it for the second one because it's so over the top, right? But like, that's how you can do it. But if I never, raise prices or did anything, I'm just going to stay at the same spot. We don't want that. God calls us to glory, right? Like there's always increase in multiplication. I never like staying stuck. My mom said I came out of the womb at 100 miles per hour and I haven't slowed down. So thank you, Mama. Turning 46 in a couple weeks. And I'm like, let's go. I think I'm rearing it up. But that takes money, right? And when we have money, more money makes more impact. I'm able to do what God's called me to do in missions. We have 2 mission bases in Japan and Kashmir. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to feed the people. It costs a lot of money to be able to preach the gospel to the ends of the earth. And so I unapologetically have prices. They're very fair, right? I don't believe in the whole like craziness of like marketing where it's like, I'm not even going to say names or numbers because that's right. That. But being in integrity, knowing that businesses cost money, right? Yes. And that should be an honor for us to pay. I pay over 6 figures for my coaching, right? And I am so thankful. I'm so thankful I've made that investment into myself and into my businesses because the return on it, we could even go there. ROI. Everyone looks for ROI, return on investment. What about your ROO? What about your return on your obedience? What about what God's asked you to do that you haven't been willing to do, right? Until you're like, okay, I'm not going to worry about the finances. I'm just going to say, you called me to do it. I'm going to do it. I got on a flight last minute to go to Dallas just to fly home today because God told me to go, right? You can't overthink things. If he's got your yes, watch the doors he'll open that no man could have ever opened for you.
Man, it's so good. I got to give I wish I had a notepad right now. I'm going to go back and rewatch this because I need the notepad.
Yes, girl.
I hope everybody's taking notes. And Allie talks fast. So if you haven't gotten VIP yet, get VIP. You can get the replays too, and you can watch it again because you don't want to miss this again and again and again.
Thank you, girl.
So you've already given us so many great, tangible things that we can do. If you had like one piece of advice, like the best piece of advice that you could give to any woman in business right now, what would that be?
Oh, this is so good. By the way, you guys, Sue gave me no questions, and I totally love that because I like to be Holy Spirit led because I think it's more fiery. Hence why I'm like not prepped or prepared or anything. It's all coming from my heart for you because God knows what each and every one of you need. And here would be my one piece of advice. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Don't quit too soon. Don't quit too soon.
Good.
I promise you, the best thing my dad taught me, my dad, so I come from a very successful business family. Hence why I'm like, I'm going to be Mother Teresa. I'm going to be a missionary. I'm going to nursing school. They're like, what? Like, so odd, right? But my dad is a brilliant business investor, corporate attorney, uber successful and beyond blessed. And he said to me, Al, when I started my first business, I'm like, this sucks, right? Y'all can relate to that, right? Entrepreneur life. Nah. I'm amazing. We're making so much money. I'm dead broke. I hate this. Oh my gosh, this is the best. Right? Right. And I remember calling him, Sue, and I'm like, I'm making like minimum wage. I'm working my butt off. I've never worked harder in my life right now. And he goes, listen to me. Put your head down. Put on your blinders. This is a 3 to 5 year program. You ain't quitting. Click, right? In the best daddy love. And it was so important for me to hear that from someone super successful who loved me so dearly because people quit too soon. Like the first 1 to 2 years in anything, really, it's like you almost don't even know who you are or like who he is or like what you're doing with, like, think about when you first became saved. You're zealous, right? Yeah. We're zealous to tell everyone, but we don't know anything, right? He's going to like refine us in the fire and come out like gold. And so that would be my thing. Like whatever you're doing right now, you're going to want to burn the bridge. You're going to want to like burn it to the ground. You're going to want to jump ship, all the things. Don't. If God's called you to, unless the grace lifted, we started with that. Like if the grace is lifted, like I knew I was meant to leave nursing and be a stay-at-home mommy. Like I just knew that. I knew that. We were also dead broke because I left nursing and my husband was a PhD student. So if we didn't want to be on WIC checks and food stamps, mama had to do something. So I can relate to that because sometimes people see where we are now and they don't realize that we started dead broke. And then we also lost everything just a year ago. So it's so relatable. I just did an interview for Ray Ireland of Evolve Podcasting. And she said, Allie, I just talked to someone. They said, don't hire the coach that just is making multiple 7 figures, 8 figures. Hire the one that made multiple 7 figures, lost it all, and rebuilt. And I was like, let's go. For all of you guys that are listening and maybe you lost something substantial or have gone through betrayal or, we go through things as business owners, as mommies, as pastors, everything. But put your blinders on, work at it for 3 to 5 years and work at it like Colossians 3:23, right? Do it all for the glory of God. Whether you're serving, these clients or you're bringing a product or a service to the market, do it all for his glory. Say, yes, Lord, I can do more. I'll get a bigger plate. Yes, Lord, I will have a supernatural capacity to do all that you've called me to do because it's all for you anyway and it's all for your glory. Yes. That would be my number one thing. And have zero guilt. I love the title of this because I think immediately people go to mom guilt, which I struggled with having 4 children and building very successful companies. Here's the thing. My kids come first. There's divine order in this house. That's the only way it's going to work, mamas. That's the only way it's going to work. It's God first. It's your family. And then and only then is it this business that he called you to do. When people get it out of whack and it's business, and sometimes I'll make some time for my husband and my babies, and sometimes I'll make it to church. It ain't going to work. It ain't work. It has to be him and only him first. You've got to be a part of a local church. If you're not in a great one, get in there. There's a protection. There's a covering that your pastor has over you that allows you to, show up every single day with excellence to steward what God's given you. And you got to be around community of like-minded people to build you up, pray you up. That's where I get so passionate, right? I'm so grateful for the people that come alongside of me and that we get to do this together for his glory.
It's so good. like I said, girl, you got the fire. Like, you must be a minister up there. You're ministering to us in such a beautiful way. Thanks for your passion. That's so, so good. So what are the future plans for His Glory CEO? Do you have anything coming up? What are the new plans?
I have not even announced this yet. Look at you, girl. Like, tell us the juice. Let's tell us the juice. Well, I do have my inner circle, which is amazing. It's a 12-month mentorship program with the most extraordinary people. So, that's an invite only. You have to be multiple 6+ figure women. And again, that is still open though. I still have openings for that till the end of October for our next year, 2026. I have my For His Glory CEO community. That's a place where everyone can play. And it is growing with such extraordinary people wherever you're at. If you're just starting out in a business, or if you're already to 6 figures, you just want to be a part of an incredible, godly community that is all about For His Glory. That's an opportunity. So those are my 2 offers, but there's something coming in March, which is going to be a live event, and I haven't even shared it yet. But we're going to do a live event because I'm very passionate about in person. It's one thing to get on these interviews and to do things like this, but when we can get in person with godly women inside of community, and one thing my girls always tell me is they're like, we need all of our friends, family, loved ones, anyone in front of you. Like, they just need to experience you. They cannot get this on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcasting, like just in front of you. And I love people. I will hug you. If you're going to hug someone, Sue, make it count, right? So like my dad taught me that. He just like takes every like breath outside of you so you're ready to like crack ribs. I love hugging people. I love praying for them. I love laying of hands on people, but I love letting them catch this fire because God has done a perfect work in me. It's nothing about me. It's all about Him and the work that He's done in my life. He's spared my life. He has allowed me the second chance to live big in Him. And I promise you, that's what I allow people to do. I like say, let's go big. Let's go big or go home, right? I'm a D1 athlete. I got 3 D1 athlete brothers. We've always wanted to go big or go home in everything we do. And I think I've just carried that into life. And so, yes, to come, hasn't even been announced, have like all the things, but in March, I'll be doing an in-person event here in sunny San Diego, where the Lord allows me to live with my beautiful husband and 4 kids and be a part of the things that got out here. So,
well,
yay!
We're gonna look forward to that. That's amazing. Oh, my light just went out. I guess we're done. It happens.
That was a mic drop, light drop moment.
Right there. Exactly. Well, we will wrap it up, but thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your passion, and for your free gift. That is so, so valuable. We're going to put the link below so everybody can get that. Thank you so much, Allie Spitzbergen.
Yay. Thank you, my love. Have a blessed day.